2 fake 14K is the call from Gabby. So it reminds me of, who was it? I think it was ATF maybe that said this. But he said if Watson was playing Pro Dota for MMR, he'd be the best carry in the world. Which, you know, this guy, he just, when it comes to MMR, he's just vacuuming all of it up.
Yeah, for sure. It's they have a lot of chatter. Jesus Christ. These guys are going on. Now have a nice and enjoyable game. Ember. why is it suddenly Abed or targeting? What's happening?
You've got to target Abed, John. You know how it is. I like that. You know, bit of bait with the first sentence, then the direct message to Abed, and of course Abed will not respond. Be very stoic as always. Anthony, they are going to fight over these banner runes down on the bottom side. Tim's going to try and intervene, but can't do much about it. So it is going to be a 4-for-0 trade on the bounty runes, as Abed says, "Good luck, have fun." You know, Abed, usually you take the 4 bounty runes before you say that, but I suppose why not? Handicap.
Yeah, we've been seeing Blacklist get the unfavorable bounty rune trade all throughout yesterday. At least in the series we've casted, they went away with like 1 to 3. And giving all 4, maybe a little bit rougher. We'll see how it plays into. I do like what they've done here. Natsumi does drop 1 web in mid, and that's some utility for that matchup for Abed. Again, with the necrotic webs, that's a little bit of the regen advantage that no one would have with his innate Seaborn Sentinel taken away.
That's actually genius. That is actually, he loses 15% regen just because there's a web there. But how great is this hero, John? That's a bit silly.
Yeah, it's one way to kind of utilize this.
Wait, does it work with all regen? Like his bottle and tangos as well? If he's in the web, it just doesn't give him, like, it's minus 15%? It must be, right?
It should be. Not that you'd bottle up right next to the web anyhow. Gabby almost dropping low the top lane. He did?
He does. He did. He literally bottled in the web. I don't know if no one realizes what's going on here. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Why isn't my bottle giving me as much mana regen or HP regen? Oh boy. Anyway, top lane. How's that going? Gabby almost dying, but he's going to be fine. Watson's having a pretty free time, as you'd expect. The Warlock troll lane is actually pretty challenging to go up against, I'd argue. Watson looking like he's going to have a pretty free time.
And he shouldn't be too contested until maybe higher levels up. DM though?
DM does go down. First blood being drawn here from Zhao. Of course, there is going to be a pretty decent creep wave coming the way of this offlane of entities, so they do at least have that for their Darkseer once he does respawn, but already a very nice start. As Blacklist, Gabby, top lane, almost going down. Will barely survive thanks to the toss-up of Tim's onto the troll. But Gabby is not having an easier time as this goes on. It is getting worse and worse. As Watson, have a look to see if he can find this Timber. He'll go after Tim's instead. Tim's dropping quite low himself. He'll run north. He has a toss. Watson getting low now to boot, but he still had a creep wave. In fact, Fishman, he'll take the aggro of the tier 1 tower just to ensure the troll was not in any danger. But Entity, they are certainly trying to establish their dominance up at this top lane.
Oh.
Yeah, they've lost Natsumi. Being just killed off here by DM.
Yeah, you have to respect the level spikes. You have to respect fighting under acid spray for a long time. The armor reduction can be quite annoying, of course, for the Broodmother. Again, even just level 1 Iron Shell right now from DM in a prolonged fight can kind of knock you off. Good bounce back from Entity with how well their top lane is going and with how well mid lane's going as well for no one here. Despite that early loss on DM, I don't think you mind too much. You're still going to be able to soak up that lane. You're getting a strong start for no one. You're slowing down Abed by a good amount. The web has disappeared on mid as well, so no one's getting the full effect of this regen once more. And it's just really hard for Abed to kind of look for a direct win here. There's no space for the side lanes to rotate onto mid as well, considering how rough the side lanes are, especially up top. So that mid lane's just going to stay a lot more static than you'd want it to be.
Tim's got a lot of value out of that tree toss. Double Curry is getting caught by that, so happy days here for Tim's. Watson again trying to get so aggressive onto Gabby. Gabby already forced to go for that level 2 reactive armor just to be able to sustain himself in this laning phase, but Watson is not giving them an inch. up at this top lane. He is just constant. At the moment, not much he can really do about this laning stage at all for Gabby. Luckily for Blacklist International, they do have a creep wave right by their tier 1 tower, so they are going to get some form of farm, but a nice large camp pull now from Fishman. Going to make it even harder as half the creep wave just gets lost to the large camp.
Again, you just don't have as much play here for Blacklist. Strong start for Watson, going to lead to some fast timings. Phase boots should be relatively done. Not quite when the courier is back up, but should have some parts coming in. And again, you have the slight net worth advantage. Your mid is going well. Your bot lane is probably the slowest lane here, but even that's going a little bit better for DM despite the debt. A ton of denies coming out here from Natsumi. But the Darkseer is still going to just soak up. You're getting some room to stack up for Kataomi as well, as Darkseer solo can still sustain true. So you've got some economy slowly building up. There's a little bit of a rotation out from Tims. He does have level 3 up. No avalanche, just a toss. So kill opportunity doesn't really present itself. And you've got some good defensive wards from Entity to watch that rotation from the 4. So it's still not going to pan out for too much here on the side of Blacklist. Now on bot.
Trying to get active. Natsumi, he will be able to secure DM's life as Kataomi now with the unstable concoction, trying to go right towards Zhao. Does land it, but doesn't really have follow-up as mid lane. No one ends up killing off Arbed. Tims was actually in the mid lane along with Arbed, but no one's the one that comes out with the kill.
It's a little bit surprising Blacklist are still forcing this movement out from Tims. I understand the idea, but bursting down Slaughter at this point is just a little bit tough. Now Gabby's isolated. Still has a chain away. Doesn't get rooted up, so does manage to bail out. But giving this kind of opening for no one gives him rune control into the 6-minute mark as well. Finds himself a nice arcane. Has an opportunity to rotate down bot. You're not the healthiest right now on Natsumi. Can't really trade back either. Has Corrosive Haze at the ready. There's a lot of output right now in this Slaughter, and he doesn't need to care too much when he jumps in.
Oh, he wants Natsumi too. No one. Just going to wait for the Radiant Creep Wave to just walk past. I do not believe no one was spotted yet. But he'll go for a D ward. Takes out the sentry, so it's pretty obvious he's around now. Zhao does get caught by an unstable concoction. DM's going to make his movement in onto the CM. And that'll be Zhao to go down. Not much he can do about it. Kataomi of all people to claim the kill on the support out. Meanwhile, Natsumi, oh, the upheaval. It's going to catch him. Natsumi in huge trouble now with the Corrosive Haze giving all the vision no one needs. Hands up, and Natsumi gets one hit. Ouch.
It's not the tankiest. Corrosive Haze up, you don't have much armor on that Broodmother just yet, just melts. They've got the room to shove in bot. Zhao is TPing back in, but there are still 3 heroes here from Entity.
Zhao gonna try and go onto DM. Kataomi gonna be around to help out, but here comes Tims with the toss up onto the arc, but it does really no damage because the raindrops do block off most of it. They continue though, and Kataomi does finally drop a Zhao. He will fall to boot as now no one. Also gonna show up on the Slaughter. Will take out Tims. Another one hit with a bash of the deep. My god. And no one just seemingly always has this ready.
Yeah, I like this from no one. Going max bash. Just so much output when he does land it to try kind of charge it up for these rotations. Already clearing out 2 nice kills for himself. There has been some room for Abba to play mid. He's been pulling back creep wave, taking the camps. He is keeping up to an extent on the Ember, but these kills are certainly pushing no one far away ahead. And off the rotations down bot, it's just giving Watson a very free lane up top. 2k lead already for Entity. Blacklist lagging a little bit behind. Are going to need to buy quite a fair bit of space out. You know, without the tower for Natsumi, he's not going to be able to pressure this lane out as much into the tier 1. You normally, again, as you were talking about in the draft, the Broodmother does want to buy space out. You're not quite at that point yet. Maybe with a Spiderlinks up you can, but again, there's enough AoE clear here on Entity that it does feel like they can intercept on those spiders quite nicely. There is a little bit of room once more for Abed to just try to farm. I'm wondering if this is still going to be his typical Mage Slayer kind of game, or if he just goes something like the Maelstrom here. Doesn't feel like Mage Slayer is too much value. Gabby surrounded.
Certainly is. Gabby gonna get stunned up. No chain to come out. He will drop as Watson. Able to take his first kill of the game, believe it or not, on the Troll Warlord. I could have sworn he had another, but it's just all the harassment he's been dealing throughout this laning phase has made it seem like he's had more than one kill. Now the smoke out. Cut to Omi and Fishman looking like they were going to run mid, but instead they're hanging around top by Watson. I think they're hoping Gabby rotates back towards the top lane, but instead now looking towards Arbed, who is taking some stacks away in their own jungle. They'd love themselves an Ember. Cut to Omi getting tossed up by Tims. Meanwhile, Watson going to show up going on to Arbed, but Arbed will remnant away, and Tims will be the one left behind. That'll be the second pickup for Watson.
Yeah. It's already just piling on for Entity. Again, every single kill you're getting is also giving charges out to Fishman, but all of these assists has 6 charges in the Black Grimoire. That's a huge EXP boost when he does decide to pop this. Maybe best time would be 11 to 12. With how far ahead you are, you don't need to pop it now for your 6. The side of Blacklist just have to mitigate these losses. They are sacrificing their supports to get that done. Oh, you haven't lost your course outside of Natsumi and Gabby any recent time. Again, Abed's been the priority in getting some safety out for himself. They've got nice, deep, aggressive wards on Blacklist up top to enable that sneaking around. You just have to respect Entity, especially as they start to approach these initial blinks. No one 200 gold off from that. The aggression will just ramp up for the side of Entity with no real rest. What Blacklist have to do is just try to utilize the space, you know. Keep shoving out with Gabby, keep shoving out with Natsumi, with the Spiderlings up. Try to hang on to your mid tower, more importantly. Hasn't had a push opportunity out for Entity. That is one aspect, which can be slower if you don't have Watson joining in. A little bit of a sneaky move with a stolen Invis rune from Karagomi, but Gabby could be a prime target again.
He could be. Gabby's had a pretty rough time already here at the top lane. He'll get spotted out by Kataomi, but that'll be about it. Gabby does retreat. He'll be just fine. I think as long as Watson and no one are farming, Entity are going to be more than happy to just play this kind of slower paced style of game. And I mean, for Gabby, I suppose at least you have a Cobalt, John. You know, that 20 GPM. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, nice little active camera there as well, just spinning around a Cobalt.
Of course.
It's not the most, I don't know why. It's not the most handsome critter, but I guess you have a little pet, you know?
Yeah, you know, John. Even the ugly ones need a bit of love sometimes. No need to point out that it's an ugly thing. You know?
Yeah, well, game state not the prettiest either for Blacklist. Again, Entity a very good game state, of course. Maelstrom flying out now for Watson. Again, that blink for no one is already up. You've got already some of the auras coming in for DM. Full mech up, not too far off from full Guardian Greaves now either, just lacking the recipe. And they still have the Chaotic Offering to play with. I mean, Entity has the opportunity to just play aggressive here.
Mid lane, Tims has been caught. A nice toss avalanche back onto Kataomi and no one. Here comes Arbed trying to help out.
Ooh.
A nice juke on the golem with the sleight of fist, but now the stuns are out. Arbed, he might be in a bit of danger. Zhao, he'll channel the freezing field. It's not doing quite enough, but Gabby's going to move in. No one still getting away though. Tims will at least find Fishman, but they are going to lose Zhao and they will lose Tims. In fact, I say they found Fishman, but Fishman found Tims instead. So 2-0, the favor of Entity. And every engagement that happens, it just feels like Blacklist have barely not enough to get the job done.
Yeah, just a little bit too quick on the chakram for Gabby, pulling it back instead of having it maybe catch a little bit more DOT on no one. Might have been able to clean up the job. Really good timing for DM to show up with a mech. Pops it, no one dies. I mean, not no one, but you know what I'm trying to say. No one falls on the side of Entity. I mean, no. You know what I'm trying to say. Why am I going
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Blacklist, they need more of that damage to come in. This Orca timing for Natsumi feels like one of the launching points. It just doesn't feel like it's enough. Abed, he can't even fully commit onto Fishman either on the tier 1. Just has enough with a raindrop plus the healing coming in. Level 1 heal just to sustain through. Abed is going for the Maelstrom build up here as well. It just feels like the farming game is much more favorable for Entity. You know, when you look at the draft of Blacklist with a Broodmother, you want to be a little bit more up-tempo. They'll try with a smoke out now.
Oh, they're going to head towards that dire triangle. In fact, never mind that, because Arbed is baiting for his side. Tims will move in onto Fishman. Meanwhile, they have found no one. Natsumi rotating on the Broodmother, trying to get down the slide of the no one. Now going to turn back around with the stun. Natsumi, he might need to get out of there. The vac wall is down. DM will drag him right back, and Watson's onto a double. Oh, they just every single time, John. Like they just don't have enough. Fishman goes down, but who cares about that? He's more than happy to die for his team. Tims also caught out. Tims will probably drop. Hands up here from Kataomi as he's just having the greatest time of his life on the Elk. And Entity, they'll just happily start chipping away at the tier 1 mid tower. More TPs incoming. They'll try to defend the best they possibly can, but Kataomi now going to move in onto Zhao, who just TP'd back into the mid lane, but he TP'd right into the tree line underneath the vision of Kataomi, who hand the tip over to the Mullet God. In Entity, they will happily retreat knowing they just got away with the tier 1 tower plus quite a few bodies from Blacklist International.
They do. They've got, again, this running start lined up for them on the side of Entity. No one started to rush into the Yags, still 3 parts away, but the process is being built up. You're getting some early activity out from Watson. Again, for Blacklist, it doesn't feel like their heroes are really ready, outside of maybe Gabby and Abed. Like, I appreciate what Natsumi is trying to do here, but it's Gabed, yeah.
Gabed,
the portmanteau of both of them, yes. That's a perfect way to put it. But only Gabed can play. You know, Natsumi's trying with the Orchid. There's just not enough sustain up front. You have to just respect all of this minus armor. Acid Spray, Corrosive Haze together, such strong synergy to just melt through. Now Roshan's open as well for the side of Entity. Doesn't take too long with that Corrosive Haze plus a Troll. I'm trying to think of what Blacklist can do, what timing brings them back. This blink timing for Tims is pretty big. You've got the Eternal Shroud for Gabby, which is nice. I am concerned about all the physical output overall from Entity. That does feel like the bigger threat. Gleipnir from Abed as well should help out in holding some heroes down. It just feels like you're not getting the value you'd want just yet from this Brood. Mind you, Natsumi is number 2 in net worth. Considering that start, he is finding a lot of space for himself. We just need to see the impact of that space kick in, as Entity is going to be able to claw back a lot of that space soon, although Kataomi...
They tried Kataomi. He got more gold out of the Spiralings than they got out of him, I'll tell you that. I'm not really sure what the idea was. He had Chemical Rage going anyway, so chances were you weren't going to kill him underneath his own tier 2 tower. So, well, I mean, Natsumi, of course, going to retreat. So will Zhao and Tims. I think Blacklist International are very well aware that the game is... at the moment, it's looking very lost. Like, all your eggs are in the Broodmother basket. It's all up to Natsumi to carry this game. And right now, you know, as much gold as he's finding, I'm not really sure what spike he's going to have on this hero to make the big difference. Like, he's got an Orchid up, but he hasn't been able to do much with it. Like, what's next that's going to change the game for him?
Yeah, it's hard to see. In Pause 1, you kind of need this universal type to get the damage going. There is some damage flowing out, but it's just not enough. And the auras being up on DM just makes it so hard. As long as he's around with a full Guardian Greaves, that burst process is very hard to see coming out here. Gabby.
Oh, Gabby at least does find a tier 1 tower, but he'll get stunned up by Kataomi. DM to follow him as well. Gabby, he'll get the Yules off onto the Dark Sea with the chain TP away, but the Vacuum might make it in time, but no, not quite. Not quite. Gabby with a very nice escape on the Timber. Can't say the same for Zhao though. Zhao getting caught out by no one, just annihilated by the slaughter damage. The game, it continues to be heavily favored the way of Entity. Now 4-15 with a 4k advantage the way of the Dire. And I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. Like, even the scaling potential of Entity it just feels so much better. Like, look at Kataomi, he's just farming up Ags now.
Yeah.
Even the Pulse 5 Alk is just, you know, it just does a great job.
Yeah, free Ags for perhaps Fishman or even, say, DM here would be pretty nice. And especially for DM, just having that normal punch can do a lot of work in the middle of these engagements. He doesn't have to focus on it. He can go for the full auras as he is. Going for the pipe next. For the side of Blacklist, there's just no room. Natsumi's soaking all of it up. He's going for the Blood Torn. No one?
Does find a double stun. He wants Zhao first. Zhao, okay for now, as no one is going to be the one to fall. No one with the tips a little bit early, but he does still find the CM as now the Golem drops are out. But where does it all end up? Natsumi's down, so is Tims. Gabby will try to chain away. He's barely made it for now, but Kataomi's tipping him as he's running and even telling him to run. Run!
For Yoe! For Yoe! Yoe! Why? How did they get dragged into this? Poor
Shout
Yoe.
out to Yoe. It's for Yoe.
What?
This is for Yoe, Jonathan. Entity are doing it.
Ah, you know what? You know what? These guys know they're watching. Armel and Co are out there. Shout out to Yoe. Para sa'yo daw yan. Oh my goodness. All right, these guys are feeling it. These guys are definitely feeling it. Entity. Oh my god. What is this?
Suddenly gaining a few Filipino fans, I'm sure here, Jonathan. The boys from Entity. I think the marketing team may have had a chat with them. You know, just maybe shout out Yoe. See what happens.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe it. It's the Filipinos are leaking everywhere, Mike. No one in spending time in Southeast Asia has done this. Goodness gracious me. Oh my, 4-19 Blacklist. Kind of looking shaky. They try some different stuff in this draft. They go for the Natsumi Brood and last pick a Gabby Timbersaw. Nothing's panning out. Again, the power that Entity has now. It's just overwhelming. The full Ags up on no one, having that confidence to jump across, try to isolate the supports, then getting the follow through from Fishman with a drop. And the coordination from Entity is through the roof right now. And Blacklist, I mean, they are trying to move as a unit. It's just the tools aren't there. Full Bloodtorn for Natsumi might change things, but...
No one's got an amp damage rune here, John. BKB up on Watson as well. They are looking very strong, Tims. We'll get jumped by no one. The vac is out. They've got the tiny lock down, and it looks like Tims will drop us now. The freezing could have come in, but Watson could not give a crap. He'll take down Zhao so darn quick. At least no one does die. Gabby will find one, but it's going to cost his own life. A triple kill for Watson. Blacklist International. Must be looking like MMR right now to Watson. He's making it look very easy, Jonathan.
And that he is. Blacklist, there's just no play here. And again, I don't know. I don't fault Natsumi. At the same time, the impact of the Broodmother hasn't been felt. Gabby had a much slower lane than what we're normally used to seeing from Blacklist. We talk about this all the time with him.
This is my thing. I don't understand the point of this Brood pick at this point. Like, I tried not to question it earlier, but you chose Pos 1 Brood into Darkseer. Look at the damage output from those imps. You chose this into Warlock Darkseer. You know how hard they're going to make it for you with the Fatal Bonds and the Iron Shells and the Spiderlings. And the imps on top. They can just blow you up if you get too many just thrown at you with the Spiderlings. Like, what's the idea with this Brood Pos 1 for Blacklist International? Like, he's got a Bloodthorn, and then it's like, so what?
Oh. Yeah, we saw the stats there as well. A lot of farm being found up by DM from the Iron Shell. It was so sad. We were over Natsumi for a while. There was an Iron Shell. He was trying to micro the Iron Shell spiraling away. He couldn't find it. And it's just a nightmare to try to do it.
Oh, they killed Zhao. Zhao had to run to the Ancients to die to the Ancients instead of the Tormentor. Like, I mean, it's not much better for you, Zhao, I'll be frank. You may as well just die to the Tormentor, but I suppose he does spare himself a little bit of embarrassment. Oh. They've lost their minds. They've lost their minds.
They're cooking. They're cooking something. It's burnt, but, you know, they're in the kitchen, Mike. That's what it is.
It's charcoal at this point, Jonathan. You may as well just start the barbecue up, hope for the best, you know? Maybe order a few sausages. I don't know.
Yo, I can't get over it.
Entity are doing it for Yoe. And you know what, John? If we get an interview with Entity, we'll have a chat. We'll ask them what the relationship with Yoe is. Who's mates with Yoe?
Oh goodness me. Oh.
Gabby. Looks out. Cancel the chains off of Gabby. Trying to make a run for it. He's actually doing a lot of damage here on this Timbersaw, but sadly no one is doing a lot more damage. And that'll be DM to take the kill on the Darkseer. Now Watson being kind of charged by Natsumi, but can they kill him? Like, you have Bloodthorn, but he has BKB. They're rushing for the troll, but Watson's perfectly fine. They can't kill him with the BKB up. In fact, Watson's going to turn. Look at this, John. Look at Watson. Look at the damage output from Watson. Natsumi, run, sir. It's not safe. Oh, I don't know about that. Natsumi, my friend.
Yeah, nah. That's it's rough. We also didn't catch it, but we already have the one synthesized Ags out from Kataomi. I believe he just sent it over to no one. So he gets the full refund, gets the full BKB, going for his own Orchid up now. And 5-24 Blacklist.
Tims. Toss back onto the out. They at least have themselves Kataomi, maybe. But he's got help. The back is out. They've caught a couple. Zhao's down. Kataomi the one to survive as he gives the MT on top. Oh, Kataomi, he's just feeling it today. You sure this guy's not from SCA, John? This whole chat makes it feel like we're doing Pro Series again.
That it does. It's like a team dog match from way back in the day. Well, this is how some of those team dog matches would go, except it would be team dog running down. Entity just running away with his game one. Blacklist just way too behind. Love the all chat, love the banter. Blacklist gonna try again.
If Blacklist International and Aurora get kicked out early, John, I'm rooting for Entity. This is the SCA team. We're taking this. We're adopting this team. That's it. Here we go. Natsumi, what's the game plan, sir? Oh, they know he's there too. They're just hunting for him and they found him. They found Natsumi. Golem dropped. Gabby's trying to salvage this fight already. They do at least find Fishman, but Gabby's going to lose his own life. Meanwhile, Abed forced to remnant away and he calls it. He's seen enough. Both his other calls are dead. Nice try.
No, just play next game so we can win. Gabby, what role does he?
Not bad, John. I said supports go for players hook, and the cores go for the other one. That's what I said.
Okay.
Don't say it like you're correcting me. How dare you?
I think Flair's hook is just way better. I think a lot of players have recognized, even after the nerf. Like, I get when the facets first launched, people were picking Dismember more, but they buffed it up and then nerfed it, and it's still good. Flair's hook is just a lot better. We'll see if they can land something with a smoke. Level 1 threat from Entity is massive.
30 seconds to battle.
Certainly is. They are moving in. Smoke should be broken here on DM, and it will be. DM, he'll get a ward down. You've got the hook available from Kataomi, but he's kind of just pump faking for now as he tries for Natsumi, but he's just a bit short. And this is kind of the thing. Of course, you are now going to get a nice free ward here for Zhao. Bit of gold influx for the Elder Titan, and already the old chat has begun again. No one now saying hi to Zhao.
I mean, you know, they were on SMG together when they went to TI last year, right? So,
that's true.
There you go.
That is very... I didn't even remember that.
It's so strange. It's... Right? It's something that we instantly forget. SMG was at TI, and we were casting those qualifiers. It was a 3-over for Blacklist. I don't know why it just completely disappeared. The last year was just a whirlwind, Michael Phoenix.
It was. Anyway, moving on. Mid lane. Abed versus no one. The Timber Saw versus the Tiny matchup, I imagine should favor Abed. What do you think here, John?
I think it's actually not too bad for no one, as long as he doesn't cop too many of the whirling deaths. If you can try to just keep pressuring. You know, level 1, you don't have the most sustain on Abed. He's doing a great job right now, and no one with a toss back already. And as long as you can avoid the chip damage, you're pretty happy here as a Tiny. You've got a lot of magic damage, you've got a lot of cleave to play far back. Abed doesn't have as many trees to cut. He doesn't get the additional damage from whirling death. So it is a little bit more manageable for the Tiny overall, as long as, again, the spacing is played correctly. Up top, we are seeing some aggression start to kick in. We've got Watson on the Ursa with Fishman on the CM, up against Tims and Gabby on the Rubik and Mars. This lane can be a little bit more back and forth. There is a lot of aggression that can come out from Ursa CM. Watson just leveraging his early Fury swipes already.
Yeah, almost getting Gabby down. Watson forced to back off eventually, but already trying to apply that pressure very, very early on. And in game 1, we did see this safe lane of Entity. It was extremely dominant with the Troll Warlock. And I don't think it's going to be too different either with the CM Ursa. Still a very strong laning stage for the safe lane of Entity.
That it is. You still have to watch yourself here on the side of Blacklist. They do have a lot of ways of trying to kite around Watson, as long as Gabby holds onto that Spear and God's Rebuke. They've got the lift back as well once the levels are up in Tims. So it's not too easy for Entity to get that rundown. I think you should still find some room to farm up here on the side of Blacklist. Bot lane, though.
First blood being drawn here from Kataomi. Sadly, we did not see if he landed a hook, but I imagine he probably did here, John. Kataomi going to enjoy himself a bit of bonus gold. Early brown boots to come here on the Pudge. Oh, there you go. He did land a stun. Thank you for that, Mr. Cameraman.
Yeah. He's a little bit... you have to respect that player's hook. It's just so much damage from afar. Not much you can really do to stop it once you are isolated away. You know, you have to kind of play your spacing here just right inside of Blacklist. They also have offensive potential again. With the Afterburner, with the Rocket Barrage, plus the Astral Spirit, there is some potential, but Pudge is way too tanky, and Venge stands far back enough that trying to isolate her, it's a bit of a pipe dream. So far, Entity coming out from the lanes looking pretty strong. Maybe just Watson's lane up top a little bit slower than you'd want it to be.
Gets stunned up with the spear of Gabby, of course. You do have that classic Rubik Mars combination up at this top lane. Watson will be able to salve up. It's like Blacklist International now. More than happy to start getting a little bit more aggressive with the Rubik Mars. You know, I think you still have to pay a lot of respect to the CM Ursa. They are going to jump in again. Watson, he's going to try for Gabby. Slows R out onto the Mars. No Frostbite available, though, from Fishman, so Gabby can still run. A little bit intriguing that they don't bother trying to go for the level 2 Frostbite for Fishman to really secure a kill, but he does opt for the Arcane Aura instead. Does make it so they can't really confirm their kill.
You can't confirm the kill, but you are still making the lane work quite nicely for the Entity. Again, it's a little bit slower for Watson than you'd like, but he's not getting completely bullied out by Gabby. Not a substantial enough CS lead here for the Morris to really feel threatened on the Ursa. I do understand why he kind of skips it. That you kind of want the mana sustain on your side lanes. It helps your Pudge just constantly have more room for more hooks without expending too much on regen. And there is still slow stacking here from Entity to play with the Earth Shock anyway, plus the Crystal Nova. So those opportunities are still there. I think it's also an understanding of, again, the repositioning plays, the disruptiveness of the side of Blacklist with a lift back in the Spear, God's Rebuke. So they know that a full chase down, even with the Frostbite, can be a little bit annoying. Eventually, the levels will be up for Fishman. Maybe at that point, it does get a little bit easier. And that's where they can start to play. The camps have been left open as well. Fishman's been doing a great job in some openings to just get the pullbacks, keep this lane shoved in a decent spot for Watson.
Hook
He's not
is
always
out.
under threat there.
Natsumi gets caught by the hook of Kataomi. He will barely get away. But DM and Nuts a bit slow. DM and Kataomi rather. Pretty easy, of course, to land that hook if you do have the magic missile set up. Natsumi has to play very cautiously because once that hook lands, like, you've already lost over half your HP. You know, because they do get the max range out because they have the guaranteed stun into the hook. It is a very painful experience.
It is. Have to watch yourself. Of course, there is the turnaround potential from Natsumi. Rocket Barrage is strong, but ooh.
The creep!
Ooh.
What was that creep doing?
I think it's the timing. Natsumi was aggroing the creep wave back. So he managed to... I don't know if that was intentional, but, you know, I'll give Natsumi that, sure. 5 big brain play from Natsumi.
I bet. Lane will be able to get away from the Tiny. Does take a boundary rune from himself, but no one once again is having a very good mid lane. 29 and 6 on the Tiny. No real contest here between himself and Arbit. I mean, Arbit is finding his own farm, but does feel as though no one is off to another great game here in this best of 2 series. Toss up. They've got the Timber underneath the T1 tower. Arbit going to try to run. Does manage to barely get away for now as Fishman will try to chase him down, but Arbit does just chain TP away. But it kind of goes to show you what's kind of happening in this mid lane. Like, no one's just constantly just tossing Arbit into the tier 1 tower. He's only got level 1 reactive armor, of course, against this Tiny. And it is meaning that Arbit is constantly having to just chain away and just TP back towards the base. This bottom lane now, Zhao, gonna die to Kataomi on the Pudge. It's another easy setup here with the stun to the hook, and so what are you meant to do against, right? Like, as long as you get hooked, excuse me, as long as you get stunned, it's just a guaranteed crap ton of damage.
And it is. Again.
here. Kataomi now being chased down. DM though with the stun, barely going to land on the deny. Kataomi onto the large camp, does get the deny off, barely in time. And Natsumi has to play a little bit carefully here because you do have DM with a magic missile up in 1 second. If he lands it, he's got the kill. It won't bother, I don't think. DM will back off.
No, but all the lanes are under pressure from the side of Entity. Blacklist just being forced back, even up top. Gabby, again, constantly low on HP. Gabby?
He's just dead. Watson able to finally find the life of Gabby as the tips do start to come out here from Watson. Again, of the Blacklist, they have not had a good offlane so far in this best of 2 series. Just Watson and Fishman have just been too good at just shutting down the offlane of Blacklist. In fact, Watson now rushing towards the Wisdom Rune, and he's going to get it too. To make matters even worse for Blacklist, they can't even get the Wisdom. Tims does at least get the TP cancel on Watson, but it may actually cost him his own life. Gabby trying to save, Spear's not going to land, Watson's still on the run. And it seems as though Watson is probably going to make it, though Gabby will try for a chase but gives up.
It's pretty demoralizing for Blacklist. Entity just juking around, getting everything right on the map, controlling every lane near perfection here. All the initial timings are going to line up in favor of them. On the side of Blacklist, again, it almost feels similar to Game 1, where they're going to have to sit back, farm, hit some initial timings. At the least, there's going to be some teamfight play available once Gabby hits his 6, so you can try to play off of that arena. Try to find something for yourself. They are getting some meaningful stacks from Zhao as well. Abed, though, under threat.
That he is, Abed. He'll be alright.
Oh.
Mid lane, however, they've got Tims now. Tims just going to drop easily to no one, who gets the avalanche toss. And again, you have the hook set up with the frostbite of Fishman. It really is the thing. Like, this support Pudge with player's hook, as long as you have a setup and you can constantly get the maximum range hook, it's just too much damage. And this is level 1 hook. It's going to get worse.
Oh, yeah. I love that you said player's hook as well, Mike. You've got the Filipino accent. You know, the F turns into P in our language. You truly are Miguel Lorenzo Pineda, Mike. It's showing true.
Yeah, well, I'll finish this in a second. Hold on a minute. Gabby's in trouble top lane. You know, the sad thing is, John, I didn't even read that it said player's hook. I just assumed. I thought you were saying player's hook the whole time, so I just assumed it was called player's hook.
No. Don't you worry. We know you're Filipino, Mike. The F's and the P's, you know. Filipino. No difference there. That's how it rolls here. 0 to 5, Entity crushing the Filipino spirit right now, unfortunately.
Just for... Oh, hook out. Tims is caught. Just so everyone listening is aware, John is Filipino and not American, as Tims is going to drop. Kataomi to pick up another. Is Zhao now in trouble? The toss damage,
goodness.
my god! What was... He lost half his HP! No one tosses Kataomi in and half his HP disappeared.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
and that's some great timing. Kataomi gets 6 off the pickoff, off the waves, and gets Dismember out. 6 stacks of Flesh Heap all ready for a Pudge very early on. And they're still hanging in this area. No big cooldowns to wait for.
Abed's going to be a little bit cautious. I mean, they're moving in. Frostbite's going to land. They've got the Avalanche toss. They've got the freezing field from Fishman. They've got the hook to land from Kataomi. At least Fishman does die. Gabby on the chase does try for a little bit more. He's got the arena up, but it's kind of hard for him to close the gap. So Kataomi and Tiem are still easily able to get out of there. And they will maintain this 3k net worth advantage on Entity's end of things. All 3 cores at the top of the net worth graph. And they're looking for more. They want Natsumi. He's trying to take some stacks away, but he's not going to get them. All the large creeps are left behind for no one to just steal away as Kataomi's looking for a hook. Tims. Oh, he's been caught. Beautiful hook from Kataomi. That ward paying so many dividends here for Entity, and I can't believe that ward hasn't been de-warded. Zhao died to that ward. Now Tims dies to that same ward. Hopefully they found. There you go.
They've got to clear it out. Yeah, get some control back, but they're still going to lose their mid-tier 1. in the end, you already got the value out from Entity 1-9, 3K lead. The aggression, again, relentless. Very similar to how Game 1 went for Blacklist. Just no room to breathe here. Oh, no.
It's so sad to watch a Pos 4 confidently just taking out the position 1 of the enemy team, but that's what we just saw. Kataomi doing some fantastic work as they will just retreat once again. Blacklist International, they dropped the arena. They've got Fishman, but Kataomi's got a hook, but he's got no mana for it. He can't drag Fishman out of there. Anyway, you still got the Gyro, so who the hell cares? You lose your Pos 5 CM. Entity is still going to be very happy with the way this game's going.
That they are. 4K lead at 12 minutes in, roundabouts. Already off to a running start. All this time has been just free farm coming in for Watson up top. Battle Fury not too far off. You've got the full blink up now and no one. A little bit of a smoke play out from Blacklist. Even dragging Natsumi along for this one. No arena, mind you, but they do get chain lockdown here. It could work out.
They certainly do. Watson gets caught for a moment. He's got the Enrage available. He won't pop it though. Now he does. His team is on its way, so Watson might actually have a chance to survive this one as they'll drop the call down, but the swap out! Watson's still running! Gabby's trying to get him, but he misses the chains! Oh, Watson's out of there! He's made it! Meanwhile, Natsumi's down! Double kill for DM! Watson's still running. In fact, he's looking at Arbet. He might jump back in. Arbet chasing him, but it's all too late. How demoralizing is that? Watson still able to survive against 5 enemy heroes, Jonathan. It doesn't really get much worse than that. It really doesn't.
No, it really doesn't. You lose your Pos 1 Gyrocopter as well. Overall, in terms of net worth, it's still a decent swing for Blacklist considering how far behind they are, but not enough to offset this game. They're hunting for Abed again as well.
Frostbite lands. Hook. Fishman gets out of the way. Abed caught. Does he have a chance? Frostbite's going to land. He does not.
Ooh.
Fishman will secure the kill. Even the neutral's not able to quite get enough damage off onto the Timber to deny him off. And I think Entity are kind of showing us really the strength of this support Pudge. Again, level 1 hook. Like, the fact that the max range takes down half your HP throughout the laning stage, as long as you have someone to throw a stun out and guarantee you that max range hook, it's just too much damage.
Way too much. We found bot tier 1. Tims.
Mid lane in danger. Tim's probably not going to make it out of this one, though a nice toss away onto no one, but he is still dead. Fishman able to pick up another kill on the CM. It is currently 3-14 with a 5k advantage 14 minutes in. What I'm trying to say, Jonathan, it's pretty rough for Blacklist.
Oh, it certainly is. There's just no room for them to really scale up. We're still waiting for the initial blink on Gabby.
No one.
And they find again.
No one's got no toss target, but he's got a hook to save his life here. They'll still try to move him with the arena. No one. He pops the shield rune. Spear is going to land, though no one should be going down, and does. A nice start here for Blacklist, as now the chase is on for Kataomi, but he'll try for a TP play out. Where's the detection?
Ooh.
They don't have it. It's too late. At least you got no one. It's still a very strong kind of kill to have here for Blacklist International.
It is, and it's a lot of gold flowing back their way. 6k lead down to 4k. Natsumi gets some good activity out on the Gyrocopter as well, and that leads into the blink of Gabby being finished up. So now you've got your initiation lined up here on the side of Blacklist. You're getting some room out for Abed to finish up his own units to be protected in the middle of these engagements. Do appreciate what Entity's done with vision control, though. They've got a really good forward ward down bot. Oh.
They found Abed again mid lane. No one's just been so good with these tossback plays onto Abed. Abed chaining away, trying for the TP play out, and he's not going to make it. No one with the right click will get it done. And I think you brought up the stat earlier that, you know, Abed does generally have a pretty bad time when it comes to the matchup against no one. And well, it doesn't really seem like that's changed too much since back in the day, John.
Nope. It's been a full year. Still looks like the last time when no one snuck his way in here. Oh, no.
Yeah. Not much to say about this one, I think, John. Natsumi is down. They are going to try and fight, but Tims has been caught by an avalanche, and no one is looking for another toss back. Finding Zhao. It's such a whitewash of a game. Like, Entity are just running circles around Blacklist International. A triple kill for Watson now, and they're looking at that tier 2 bottom tower. And we're only 16 minutes into the game.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah. And they're just playing it fast and hard inside of Entity. No resting here. They know they have the advantage. They know they can keep pulling ahead. No point in just letting Blacklist try to play their own game of farm and catch up. Now, that's maybe something that we haven't seen in Southeast Asia. We've seen teams take an early lead and go back and farming. Not Entity. They'll keep going. They'll keep pushing the advantage. They'll choke you out. They're setting their eyes forward as well. Got the full phylactery up on no one. Even more damage out from that crash landing on the toss now.
Look off the mark. No one. Looking to jump in. Does catch an avalanche.
Oh.
Tims. Oh my god. Tim's just absolutely destroyed. It's a phylactery toss from no one, John. It's just too much damage. Now Gabby getting caught. Gabby's down. Hook is out. They found another. That'll be Shout to boot. 3 down for Blacklist International. Kataomi saying aura, which I think is, he's trying to say Zhao is basically just an aura at this stage, John. I can't disagree with that sentiment from Fishman.
No.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Excuse me, rather Kataomi, was it? Yeah, it was. Tims? Tims is probably just dead. Natsumi's gonna try to help. I don't know about this. They have TPs incoming, but Natsumi's down. Gabby's gonna show up now on a Kataomi. Gets the arena, but the spear lands on the Ursa. Kataomi still messing around. Finally goes down. Watson's gonna go for the fight, but he will drop. Alright, Blacklist, they get something. But it really does feel like Entity are the ones feeding them these kills at this stage. I'll be honest with you, John.
Radiant's
Yep.
top tower is under
They're having fun. No one's not even there. He was chasing up Abed by the Roche for a very long time. It's just been a sequence of unfortunate events for Blacklist so far. Entity just, again, not relenting in this aggression. Blacklist with some responses. It's just not quite enough. Like, I like that Natsumi's waiting on the flank, trying to get some action going. It's just that it doesn't connect fast enough from Gabby to save his life. Not fast enough on Zhao with a TP. Need these actions to be a little bit quicker for Blacklist to get some cleaner kills back. But Entity, despite those losses, are still in a very good position in this game overall. I mean, they still haven't taken Roche. They've got the Ursa with Battle Fury. It's a nighttime Roche. It shouldn't take too long for Watson. And Blacklist just has no control in that area. Even with their tier 1, they just can't cross that side. It's going to be a free secondary life now coming out for the Ursa. No problems whatsoever. We're still waiting for Natsumi to get his Ags. Even at the Ags timing, it feels like he needs just BKB Satanic, or at least the Satanic first, just to sustain through as he's surrounded.
Yeah, he certainly is, John. Natsumi will be going down again by the looks of it. Here comes Abed to try and salvage. Gabby's going to find no one on the Tiny. No one about to drop, but the Freezing Field does come out. Still, Abed does finish the job off. Now, Fishman will be left behind on the CM, so Fishman to go down, but here comes Watson and the crew.
Oh.
A nice hook. Tims will get caught by that's a Kataomi. Already finding one. Abed dropping very low on the timber, though Zhao is going to stun them up, but DM's got the swap out into the magic missile. Holding down even more. Arena dropped by Gabby, but it means really nothing. Zhao will try again with the Earth Splitter, but it's a full team wipe for the side of Entity. When does the torture end? When do Blacklist call?
I mean, it feels like they've got to look soon. There is some high ground potential, to be fair, but considering this deficit, it just feels near impossible. I mean, take a look how much HP Kataomi has. His positioning, his understanding of how these fights and when to re-engage has just been amazing on this Pudge. Like, he's hanging back in the lane when he knows his teammates are coming through the gate. Closer by, goes in back for the hooks. Manages to land him every single time. 18 stacks on the Pudge off the back of that engage mic. 2.4k HP just casually, with no HP items whatsoever. Blacklist, it feels like they have to really connect with this teamfight idea. Right? It has to be a good arena, good stomp, good Earth Splitter. No one's really enjoying himself.
Certainly is. And why the hell not like this guy? He literally just has to press the toss button, John.
Oh.
That's it. Someone's gonna die.
Again?
Xiao now. Speaking of dying, Natsumi, he'll barely escape. Xiao, not so much. Now Entity looking for the Tormentor. They'll be able to take that, no problems, of course. And Kataomi now with the free Dismember shards for himself on the Pudge. It's Kataomi's hunting again himself. He spots out Gabby. Gabby has no idea. Dismember out from Kataomi, and the cavalry is incoming. There's no escaping Watson. Arena down, but Gabby is gone. Tips out from Kataomi as he just spins in circles. What can you do?
Nah, you can't do much here, Mikey. Blacklist. Kind of just getting outclassed. Again, maybe they're using this opportunity to try out different draft ideas right now, considering they're #1 in groups. A loss here really doesn't affect it. It does maybe drag Entity up slightly, going 3-2-0 compared to Blacklist going 3-1-1, if that is the scoreline we end up with. But they have a free ride into groups anyhow. So again, it's an opportunity to test things, like, you know, going away from the Beastmaster Hoodwink ideas, trying different pause ones, trying different mids for Abed on a platform that's a lot more serious than a scrim. I can see that's why some of these ideas are coming out now for Blacklist. Still, Entity, you know, they're not goofing around. Even their draft is also slightly unorthodox. We haven't seen too much of the Pudge. We've seen a little bit of the Venge for sure. Tiny mid, not as often in Riyadh at the very least. It has still been working out. Smoke out now from Entity.
They've got the Kanda on no one. Like, the amount of damage he's going to do with these tosses, with that Kanda, it's going to really hurt. They jump in, Avalanche tosses out, Tims is guaranteed to die, as now Gabby falling low himself will barely make it away, but now Natsumi has been caught again. 2 down for Blacklist International, maybe make that 3, because Kataomi apparently just doesn't miss. Zhao gets caught, he's gone. No, he's not. He makes it to the fountain. Gabby's going to throw an arena down. He'll try for no one. They do at least get the Tiny. Maybe they can look towards Watson, but Watson's still got the Aegis up. They'll take him down once as Gabby. He's going to look for a spear back play on the Ursa into the fountain, but it doesn't quite get towards the fountain. Still Watson dropping low. Has got down. Tips out.
Oh.
Smiley's face from Watson. They even found DM now. DM probably going to die. Don't forget the rim.
Easy game. Easy for who, Gabby? Easy for who?
It's just easy. It's an easy game. That's all he's saying.
And I was wondering as well, you know, when they were saying sub Yoa in so we can win, do you believe they're asking Entity to take Yoa back?
Yes.
So they have a shot instead of no one. It certainly feels no one's just been crushing it. See if they can get some punishment.
Toss back onto the mid-tier 1 tower, apparently. Gabby, gonna be alright for now. Arbit, maybe not so much. He's already lost half his HP here to the hook of Kataomi, and he's trying to get away, but the Frostbite's gonna lock him down. Kataomi jumping in again with the Dismember will hold down Arbit. That's your Timber down. The Avalanche out from no one, connecting on 3 targets, but they are still moving in here, Blacklist. They go onto Fishman, but the hook back onto Natsumi.
Oh.
Even the Centaur coming in for a casual stun, just to make sure Natsumi does not get away. But they even got his courier. Just everyone's against Natsumi today.
They are. Gabby.
Hooks off the mark this time. Avalanches too.
Really want that kill onto Gabby. You're not going to find it. Still Blacklist. After a good turnaround on a little bit of a deep dive from Entity, they can't even find the tier 1 mid. Entity still managed to hang on to that objective. 17k lead, 12-36 here for the side of Entity. Probably just need this BKB done on no one, and he's not going to care about being stuck in the arena any longer. Can open up some more aggressive plays. 22 stacks up on Kataomi. Nice amount for our Pudge. It's not as much HP as it was before. I feel like they've nerfed that substantially. It used to be so much more. Maybe once he has the maxed out Dismember, you can start to see just how crazy it can get in 2 levels. Still, what way do you have back for Blacklist? I mean, you kind of have to bank on Entity overextending. Like, get the isolation plays on these big heroes, prevent the swaps from coming in somehow from DM. and then the game starts to open up a little bit more. We've got some more durability up on Abed. He's got the full Eternal Shroud now. You've got the BKB being formed up by Gabby, still waiting on the Ags for Natsumi on the Courier, as, well, the last part was stuck there. Some tools are there, it's just, they need to play clean on Blacklist. For Entity, well, if they just keep bashing their heads against the wall, eventually they can find it, as long as they don't bleed out too much.
The problem is, how do you stop bleeding out too much here? It's pretty tough. No one now with the full BKB up on the Tiny. Kind of the thing for no one. Like, he has been susceptible to dying just a little bit with all the stuns that are available here on Blacklist International, but now with the BKB up, it's gonna be a lot more confident to just casually jump in for an avalanche toss combination and get away with it every single time.
Dire's bottom tower is under
This'll come in
attack.
handy.
Just waiting for the next Roshan is Entity. 30 seconds till we find out when that is going to respawn. And Blacklist, props to them. They're not out of the game yet. They are fighting to try and force a draw here against Entity, but you know, they're still within dire straits. Still a long time to go before they get that
Dire's
farm they
middle tower
require.
is under attack.
There's your Ags up on Natsumi now, 27 minutes into the game, but he's now worth the 10k. Like, it's... You are just really relying on Gabby and Arbit to make this game kind of work at this stage. Like, the gyro is just not getting anywhere.
No, it's down to Gobed,
Dire's middle tower
as it
is
does
under
feel like it
attack.
has fallen down to for Blacklist.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much Gabby and Ovid can really do. Like, how much this combination can do at the moment. It has to be perfection from Gabby. And they have to be very disruptive with Ovid on the back.
Dire's
Lose their tier
middle
2.
tower
No
is
outer
under
tower
attack.
left for Blacklist. Side of Entity. And Roshan is up if they want to go back and scout it, but are keen on trying to stop this push. Gabby hanging in a pretty decent spot.
No, he won't be able to take the Wisdom Rune away, though. Just kind of clears out the creep wave and goes for a run. Yeah, Entity have chosen to take their own sweet time to just relax and get some farm going, just address the creep waves and, again, wait for Roshan, which is actually already up. Just neither side have scattered it out yet. It's like perhaps Kataomi might have a bit of a check soon. Top lane, Avalanche Toss has caught out Zhao, so he is just immediately deleted to that combination. It's just so unfortunate because we're in a meta again where no supports can survive Avalanche Toss to Tiny if he has this crash landing facet.
Yep. Just really melt through. Abed still manages to hang away. They've got some good wards watching that crossing through the tier 1. But the Roche does begin for the side of Entity. Not going to take too long for Watson.
Natsumi.
Maybe Abed could try for a cheeky steal.
Oh, Natsumi. Avalanche Toss. He died to the Avalanche Toss. The hook did not land. That was Avalanche Toss plus 1 right click. That killed off Natsumi.
Abed. Bash? Oh,
Yeah,
the bash
he
kicks
got
in.
Bashes. Of course he gets bashed. Nice try from Arbit. Tips out from Watson. What can you do? It happens.
Yeah. The timing was almost right. Couldn't quite snatch away the cheese at the least, but
Radiant's top tower is under
side of
attack.
Entity, well, the high ground's very simple now. There's no output in Natsumi yet. Needs a BKB. You do have the BKB and Gabby, but without your 2 other cores, it just doesn't feel like you can do much.
Are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, there goes your tier 3 top tower. No defending that.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
No one
Radiant's
looking
top
for a
barracks
toss back
has
target.
fallen.
Not going to have one that time around. Oh, Watson, he'll just keep going. I mean, if they're not going to try and defend with that Arbit, of course, he'll just go for a secondary barracks while he still can. Arbit up in 5. No one, meanwhile, trying to find a toss back target. Not going to be able to catch Gabby. So Entity back in onto the tier 3 tower, but now a 5-man smoke committed here from Blacklist International.
Radiant's middle
No
tower
one's still
is
waiting
under attack.
to blink in and toss, I think, but he just sees nobody. Blacklist make it pretty obvious they are smoked up. T3 tower will be taken down by our Tiny.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
In Blacklist International, they are the ones that probably need to move. And Gabby, he has tried to move in on his own now as they do jump in with Arbit, trying to shred him apart. They've got Kataomi down at the very least, but they've lost Natsumi again. You know, the gyro he just dies immediately as the swap is out now to Tim's. Tim's stealing the swap away, able to get himself out, but no one's in with an avalanche toss combination. Not quite killing anyone off. Hook off the mark from Kataomi. Meanwhile, back onto no one. They'll try for the Tiny again, but he is not dying. No one will turn with the rest of his squad. Gabby's down. Arbit's probably dead to boot. And he called. GG, well played. They finally had enough.
That they do. Good luck next from Gabby. There is no next for Entity until Wednesday. But the sentiment is appreciated, I'm sure. Entity showing up for the series up against Blacklist. Not looking like they broke